Hi. So, for the purposes of today's practice and a couple of other practices this week, I wanted to introduce you to one of the nerves in our system, which is called the vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve gets its name from the Latin word vagare, which kind of means that it moves seemingly without direction to lots of different parts of our bodies. And one of the places where it comes quite close to the surface is this sort of part of our neck, right? It goes from our cranium into our body, and in order to get into the visceral organs, comes through the neck. The vagus nerve is considered the main nerve of the rest, digest, and restore mode of our nervous system, which is often called the parasympathetic part of our nervous system. And it is highly involved in how it is that our body helps us regulate, or more importantly, down-regulate after stress. So stress is something that can often interfere with our sleep, which is why we are going to be doing some practices in the next few days that contact both what we're doing today literally with our fingers or our movement, the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve controls our heartbeat, controls our breathing patterns, has an impact on how we sweat. And so, or sorry, that's not true. It helps regulate body temperature more accurately. So in order to make sure that we can start heading towards sleep, we want to make sure that our body is not in a stress response, which is often associated with higher heartbeat, maybe sweating, maybe higher breathing patterns, and therefore there are some techniques, one of which is self-massage, which is what we'll be doing today, that can help create what is called healthy vagal tone. So to basically strengthen the health and resilience of our vagus nerve. So for today's practice, I would recommend either a seated or lying down position, but if you want to be standing up, by all means, choose a standing up position. And what I'd like for you to do as you come and find your position is just for a second sit and gauge, sort of internally measure where you are at. And so, as I said, some of the things that'll tell us where we are in our nervous system response will be things like how fast our heart is beating, how fast we are breathing, where we are with our body temperature. Those are just some indications. And so as you find your seat, can you become aware of where you are? Both physically, you want to make sure that you feel that you are in a safe place, but also physically, internally, i.e., how calm or activated do you feel right now? Where is your breath at? What is the rhythm of your breath? What is the flow of your breath? What is the length of your breath? And if you can notice your heartbeat, maybe there can be an awareness of, does it feel accelerated or excited or fast, or is it quite calm and subdued? And then we often start the practice with what can be called orienting to our space, of just turning the head from side to side. And you can do this eyes open, genuinely taking in the environment around you. And you can do this, if you prefer, eyes closed, and just sort of imagining the environment around you. But having told you where the vagus nerve travels through the neck, maybe you can even see how this tiny movement already sort of goes to stimulate and interact and or movement kind of touches and moves the vagus nerve itself. And what I can add to this is this small little self-massage. Now, I know some of us have this idea of massage as being Swedish deep muscle, deep massage. This is sort of closer to, I remember loving this thing as a kid when friends of mine would get crew cuts and their hair would be cut very short, that you could just rub the surface of their head very lightly with the palm of my hand. And it just was a really, really soft, delicate massage. And so we're going for that idea. We're not trying to undo any knots, but within the spectrum of what feels soft to you, you can choose how much pressure you are applying with the pads of your fingers. So just to be clear, we are talking about the sort of fleshy, cushiony bits at the tops of our fingers. And if you have long nails, it might feel nice to feel the tips of the nails, but again, we're doing this so that it feels soothing and comforting. So what pace do your fingers need to move for it to feel soothing and comforting? What pressure are you applying in order for it to feel soothing and comforting to your body? And you are also choosing how many times you are going to repeat this, how long you are going to continue. And whenever it feels right to you to stop, then you stop. And for the sake of this recording, I'll come to stop now, but if it feels like your body is calling you to keep going, please keep going. Maybe the body has invited you to stop far sooner than I did. I hope you followed that bodily guidance. Whenever it is that you have stopped, can you once again gauge? Can you feel the internal body environment? And notice what feels different now, if anything. So I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but I had a slight gurgle from my digestive tract. So the vagus nerve is deeply embedded into our digestive system. Maybe you can check in with the rhythm and pace of your breath. Maybe you can check in again with your heartbeat, or just that general sense of how calm or activated am I feeling right now. And you're just sort of noticing, is there any palpable difference now relative to when you started? That is our practice for today. It is a very easy practice to integrate throughout your day. It might be something really nice to do right before you go to bed. It might be something to do at the end of a very stressful interaction, if you have the time to just sort of notice how you're feeling as you do this. And I hope it is something that you find as pleasant, and for me it always feels like I'm a little bit more seated, a little bit more grounded, like if anything has made me feel pent up, that sense has sort of been like a balloon, like something has been deflated. See how that goes for you and let me know.